Jeff Cavaliere, ATHLEAN-X.com. As a physical therapist, I get paid to analyze movement. I get paid to analyze my athletes performing because I know that if I can watch them perform, I can pick up slight things that I may need to then take into the weight room and help develop even further, to overcome imbalances, to develop more strength where a weakness might lie. Well, the same thing, again, exists right here in the weight room. If you're going to be effective, especially if you want to eliminate muscle imbalances, you better be good at analyzing your own movement. And it starts with a simple mirror. If you're going to train at home, I don't care, run out and get a $10 mirror from Walmart, because it can become the most effective tool that you've ever used to start fixing muscular imbalance. Why? Because I believe that 99% of all muscle imbalances are rooted in one thing, and that's postural deformity. And no, not to deformity to the point where they're so obvious, they're usually very subtle, but you can become very good at picking up on them if you start paying attention when you're training. Here's 3 examples of exactly what I'm talking about. Postural deformities will come from what we do in our everyday life. And me, I'm very guilty of slouching in my chair, sitting back, usually leaning to my right side, or if I'm on the couch, on the computer, I got my right arm up over here, but I'm usually leaning over to one side. What does that do? Well, it only takes a few days of that to start getting some muscle adaptations in that same, to reflect that same posture. So we'll start to get a little bit slightly higher left shoulder, a little bit depressed right shoulder. Well, watch what happens when I take that posture into the weight room without correcting it or paying attention to it when I do, without the use of mirrors. I go do a back workout. I try to do a row. When I do a row, if I've got a slightly higher left side, what winds up happening is this elevates the elbow a little bit up here, and I pull back, and this elbow is usually down at my side, and I get a much more significant contraction down here in my lat because my elbow is doing what it's supposed to do, which is adduct into my side, while up here it's staying out because the shoulders are taking it up and away from my body. It's not even my elbow's fault or my lat's fault, it's just paying the price for my bad posture. So if I can get a much stronger contraction here, we already know from past videos that we're not developing the proper mind-muscle connection on this other side to ever properly develop that lat or fully develop that lat. It's a big, big oversight. We'll take it even further. Let's start squatting. We squat with this same position here. What happens? I try to go down into my squat. Well, if I'm a little bit tilted, our body is masters of compensation. We're not going to allow it to go straight down like this. We know that's not going to work. So what happens is the left knee will have to bend more than the right to bring us back to level. Well, that's all good except for the fact that yeah, we might be level, but this left side is doing a lot more of the work than the right side is, so you might develop a stronger left quad, and more importantly, a weaker right quad, or that left quad will take on so much work, or that compensation will be so bad that your knee will start to hurt on the left side. So has that really given you a proper recovery from this bad posture? No, all you've done is learn to work around it. But if you were working out in a mirror and you saw this slight movement, imbalance from left to right, you can fix it. And when you can fix it, you can train that way. A lot of guys will try to use a technique where they lift a little bit more weight on the right side or do a few extra reps on that weaker side. Yeah, those are okay techniques, guys, but I think if you're looking at the fact that most of these things are rooted in our own postural imbalances, then it becomes more of an issue of fixing it at its root cause. And the way you're going to fix it at its root cause is to identify it first with that mirror. Last example, a lot of us have this rounded shoulder posture, right? Forward shoulders. What does that do for our tricep training? If we're dominant with our right side, and we tend to be a little bit more rounded and developed internally this side, right versus our left, we know that the tricep to fully contract needs to be back and extended behind our body a little bit. One of its main functions, or one of its functions, is to at least extend the arm behind our body. So the arm that's extended here, it can contract the triceps like that, right? From here, out in front of us. But when we can actually get the triceps back behind our body, here, now we have the entire tricep contracting as fully and as strongly as it possibly can, and we get a better development overall. So the guy that has one arm smaller than the other, guess what? The problem, again, might be rooted in the fact that you have these small imperceptible imbalances posturally between your right and left sides that unless you stick yourself in front of a mirror and see that when you're doing pull downs or push downs that this side is more rotated around than the other one is, you want to fix it. Okay? So we don't all have the luxury of having a guy like a PT like me to be able to follow you around and tell you when you're doing these things. So you got to start training yourself to spot these imbalances in your posture so that you can get rid of them in your training. And you can. You can. You can definitely get rid of them. You just got to start paying attention to those that exist in training, even if it means lightening the weight just a little bit, so you can develop that mind-muscle connection a little bit more and start taking your movements through in a very balanced way. You'll start to overcome them. So again, you might not have a PT at your disposal that can do this for you, but it doesn't mean that you don't have the access to the same programming. And with that, guys, you can get the ATHLEAN-X training system. In my training system, I give you the exercises, the step-by-step meals, meal plans, day-by-day workouts, everything you need to equip yourself to train at the top level, just like my pro athletes do, to train there. But I teach you also the tools you're going to need to take with you through those workouts so you get the most out of every single one of them. All right, and that's what we do here. That's what training like an athlete's all about. It's overlooking nothing, making sure that everything that needs to be in place in your workouts is there. And again, the entire system at ATHLEAN-X.com in our ATHLEAN-X training system. I hope you found this video helpful and you can start to see where some of those imbalances that you thought you might have, even if it's one side of the chest is bigger than the other, it has a root cause in some sort of postural imbalance that you've set up yourself because of the way you stand or position yourself all day long. But it can be reversed with some dedication and attention to fixing it. Alright guys, if you found this helpful, like I said, leave a comment and a thumbs up below. And whatever else is that you'd like to see, make sure you leave those below too. And of course, I'll make those videos in the coming weeks. See you guys.